Hi Year 11. The second part of our tax rate graphs is when we are trying to draw a tax graph when we've got a variable tax rate. So let's say we've got a country. You could be asked to do any sort of country. You've got an income tax and tax payable. It looks the same as ours, but we have a variable rate. So until you get to $12,000, there's no tax payable. When you get up to $40,000, all right, pay 15 cents on the dollar in excess of $12,000. So you can see that that 12,000 matches the 12,000 there. When you go from 40,000 to 100,000, okay, we get another tax rate. So how on earth do we organise this into a table? Well, for a start, you've already got like a column. We're going to use an XY graph. Now don't forget, whenever you've got an XY graph, the first column is always your X or your horizontal axis. Your second column is always your Y or vertical axis. Let's see how we work out to draw these. So we can see we've got our finished tax here, but how did they get these numbers? Well, for a start, you look at the graph and you find that we have huge numbers. So we're going to do what we did with the flat rate graph. We're going to do everything in thousands. So we've got from $1 to $150,000. So on our graph on the bottom, in our taxable income, let's go up in $20,000. Instead of writing the thousands, we can put this little bracket underneath. It's like a unit, so we're writing in dollars and thousands. So instead of writing 20,000, I can just write 20. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going up in, once again, 5 divided by 20,000 will give us 4,000. So we're going up in $4,000 lots each time we go there. And that's going to help us work out our sums in the future. So go up 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140 to 160,000. Remember, all the things down here should go up in even amounts. We shouldn't have different odd amounts going through. Our Y column, let's have a look and see what we're going to do. So what's going to happen is that when we look at to 40,000, our maximum is going to be where the next layer starts. So $40,000 is going to give us $4,200 tax. $100,000 is going to bring in $19,200 tax. Okay, $150,000 will charge $35,200 tax. So each of these is going to give us our labels, and we're going to make a little column. So we make a little XY graph. We've got our taxable income, 12,000, 40,000, 100,000, 150,000. You can see we got them all from this column. And then our tax payable, up to 12,000, we have no tax. $40,000, the most you are going to be asked to pay is $4,200. And that's where we get it here in the next column, because this is where the next rate is going to start. For $100,000, okay, we have $19,200. And you can see here, $100,000 is going to be paying at least $9,200. $150,000 on our x-axis is going to match $35,200 on our y-axis. All right, and that's where we're going to get these little points from. Okay, so when we mark them down, as you can see, we're going to need to go from 0, no dollars are paid until we get to $12,000. So 4, 8, $12,000, and we put a mark on the 0 line. This is where our rate's going to start. Go up to $40,000, and we go up to, okay, or on our y-axis, I forgot to do that. We've also got to see how much we're going to pay. So we're going to pick a number, nice round number above $35,000. $40,000 sounds great. So on this axis, we're going to go from 0 and then in even amounts up to $40,000. And we try to use as much space as we can. So in this graph, we're going up 5s and we're going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, $1,000 each. So that's 5,000, 10,000. Nice and easy. So remember, work out what you're doing with your rates when you can. Okay, so back up to plotting our points. So $40,000. Remember, at $40,000, we don't have this line. This is what we're trying to draw. So you need to go 40,000 to 4,200. where the $40,000 is, we can be anywhere along that blue line that's going up from 40. To find out where this dot is, to find it through, we need to go to $42,000 on the other y-axis, go up to 42,000, so 1, 2, 3, 4, just a little bit above that blue line, come across, and where it cuts that $40,000 line, we put the dot, all right? And then you will draw the line when you've got all your dots. So remember, when you're doing it, you won't have these dots yet. The next one, let's go to 100,000, and its match on the y-axis, 19,200 on the y-axis. So 100,000 is that blue line. Once again, this is where those little see-through rules are great because you can just keep a nice track up where that line is. So you find 100,000 on your x-axis, 19,200 on your y-axis. So 20,000, 19,000 will just be above that little blue line there. We go across. It hits $100,000 line on that side, so you put another dot. Okay, so we've got 12,000 to 40,000 is done at that rate, taxed at that rate. 40,000 to 100,000 is taxed at that rate. Our final one is 150,000. So you find 150,000 on the line. Then you find on the y-axis 35,200. That's pretty easy. Bring it across to where it hits the 150,000 and put a dot. I often find if you're using a sharp lead pencil, it's just a good idea to draw in the lines as you get further away at those two values so that where they intersect is pretty obvious, and you can put your dot in. Once you've done that, then join the dots with nice straight lines. In science, we curve our lines. In maths, though, when we're doing these graphs, you draw the line straight between the dots. And that should give us our rates. From now on, all you need to do is read off your graph like we did with the flat tax graphs. The tax on 112,000, we just look up 112,000 on the x-axis, go up to where it hits the line, take it across, and we find out that it's about $23,000 on the y-axis. So that will be the tax you pay. If you've paid $7,500 tax, once again you find 7.5, so 5, 6, 7.5, bring it across, and ruling a little faint line there till it hits the line is good, quite fine. Drop it straight down, and we'll find that it's like $53,000, and that will be the tax payable. So the hard work, the hardest part, is really setting out what your axes are going to be, and the more you practice it, the easier it'll get. Okay, guys, you've got two choices. You can either continue on with the questions on the book that I've put up on Classroom, or you can go back to Chapter 4, Financial, and I think it's the last exercise, and you can practice them. The questions are all going to give you the same experience. I just thought this spelled out how to do it better. All right, good luck.